In the ancient tapestry of Greek mythology, woven with threads of gods and mortals, one name stands out with an aura of valor and destiny: Perseus. His story is an epic of divine interventions, mortal courage, and triumph against insurmountable odds. It is a tale that resonates through time. In the city of Argos, King Acrisius sought counsel from the oracle, asking if his marriage would produce a son and heir. Instead, the oracle delivered a prophecy that chilled his heart. The oracle declared King Acrisius's death would come at the hands of his own grandson. Fear gripped Acrisius's heart like a vice. Determined to avert the foretold doom, he devised a plan to escape the clutches of destiny. Desperate, the king locked his daughter Danae in a tower. Acrisius hoped that by keeping her away from the world, he could prevent any offspring that might seal his fate. But as is the way of fate, destiny had other plans. Danae, a woman of tremendous beauty, was locked away in a tall tower where no man could see her. But the eyes of the gods see far, and from his throne on Mount Olympus, Zeus, king of the gods, was enchanted by her beauty. Yet, the union between gods and mortals was not without its complications. Such entanglements could bring about divine wrath, disrupt the harmony of the cosmos, and challenge the delicate balance maintained by the Olympian pantheon. Knowing this, Zeus masked his identity, shrouding his divine form, and descended upon Danae as a shower of gold on a moonlit night, bestowing upon her a child, Perseus. Thus was the hero's fate set in motion. Danae raised her son in secret in her high tower. However, the birth was soon discovered by her father. King Acrisius, aware the child was a threat to his life, but unable to kill his daughter and grandson, instead imprisoned them in a chest and cast them into the tempestuous sea. Zeus, seeing this, called on his brother Poseidon to calm the sea, and the chest drifted upon the waves until it came to rest on the shores of Seriphos, an island kingdom. There they were found by the fisherman Dictys. Dictys had a kind heart. He rescued mother and child from the chest's confines. He embraced them as his own, and Perseus grew under the watchful eyes of the ocean and the nurturing care of Dictys. The boy's strength and courage blossomed. Yet, Seriphos held dangers beyond its tranquil shores. King Polydectes, a man of cruel intentions, became enamored with Danae's beauty. Perseus was protective of his mother, and the king sought to remove him from the picture and devised a sinister plan. Announcing a grand wedding feast, Polydectes demanded each guest bring him a worthy gift. He challenged Perseus to bring him the head of the Gorgon Medusa. Medusa was once a beautiful maiden who had sworn herself to the goddess Athena. The god Poseidon became enamored by her beauty and assaulted a young Medusa in the temple of Athena. Athena, enraged and unable to take vengeance on her uncle Poseidon, instead cursed an innocent Medusa, turning her long hair into a tangle of angry snakes, and from that moment forward, any who looked upon her were immediately turned to stone. Since that day, many had set out to kill the Gorgon, and all had been turned to stone. This was the task now set to Perseus, aided by the gods Athena and Hermes, who bestowed upon him a helm of invisibility, winged sandals, and a reflective shield so polished he could see his own reflection. Perseus embarked on his perilous quest. He ventured into the realm of the Gorgons, where he used the shield as a mirror to avoid their deadly gaze, and, with a single stroke of his sword, decapitated the serpent-haired Medusa. Victorious Perseus set out to return to his home with his prize. On his return journey, on the coast of Ethiopia, he discovered a woman chained to a rock facing the ocean. Andromeda, a maiden of unsurpassed beauty, was the daughter of King Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia. But their happiness was marred by Cassiopeia's vanity and arrogance. She boasted that her daughter's beauty outshone even that of the sea nymphs. This hubris invoked the wrath of Poseidon, god of the sea, who unleashed a sea monster to wreak havoc upon the kingdom. Desperation gripped the land as the monster's terror spread. The people believed the beast's wrath could only be quelled if Andromeda was sacrificed to the creature's hunger. Thus, Andromeda was chained to a rocky precipice, a helpless offering to appease Poseidon's fury. It was in this dire moment that fate guided Perseus to the shores of Ethiopia. The heavens had forged him into a hero of divine lineage, a slayer of monsters and a wielder of celestial artifacts. Armed with the helm of invisibility, winged sandals, and a mirrored shield, Perseus was determined to vanquish the beast that threatened Andromeda's life. A mighty battle ensued, Perseus using his divine gifts and his mortal strength to wage war against the sea monster. Perseus was victorious and Andromeda was rescued. Perseus took Andromeda to her father Cepheus and asked for her hand in marriage. A happily married Perseus returned to the island of Seriphos with his wife, only to find Polydectes still pursuing his unwilling mother. In order to protect his mother, Perseus used the Gorgon head on the king, turning him to stone. The family then returned to Argos, the kingdom of his grandfather. There, Perseus competed in a sporting competition, not knowing his grandfather was in the crowd. During the competition, a discus thrown by Perseus veered off course, striking and killing his grandfather and completing the oracle's prophecy. The tale of Perseus's return to Argos and the unexpected death of his grandfather Acrisius stands as a haunting reminder that even the most elaborate efforts to defy fate can be rendered futile by the hands of destiny. The threads of the prophecy, like invisible bonds, guided the lives of mortals and gods alike, weaving their stories into the grand tapestry of Greek mythology. Though Acrisius's death had been an accident, its implications weighed heavily on Perseus's heart. He couldn't help but feel a mixture of sorrow, guilt, and a haunting sense of fate's inevitability. The hero, who had faced Gorgons and sea monsters with unyielding courage, now faced a different kind of challenge, reconciling his actions with the consequences they had unwittingly set in motion. With the passing of Acrisius, Perseus inherited the throne of Argos, a kingdom he had once been exiled from. Due to his guilt over his grandfather's death, he gave away the kingdom of Argos to Megapenthes, in exchange for Megapenthes' kingdom of Tyrins. Perseus's time as king was marked by a commitment to justice and fairness. He sought to mend the wounds of a kingdom that had been plagued by fear and strife, and his benevolent rule earned him the respect and admiration of his subjects. Perseus's legacy echoes through the corridors of time as a resounding testament to the intertwining forces of divine lineage and mortal courage. His story serves as a beacon of hope, demonstrating that even in the face of insurmountable challenges and the enigmatic dictates of fate, individual determination can carve a path of heroism and triumph. If you liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe for more videos on Greek mythology and its heroes. Until next time.